this week, I want to talk about something that I see all the time when I'm working with my clients. And honestly, it's something that I've experienced in my own life as well, because most people believe that if they just learn enough, if they read enough books, if they listen to enough podcasts, if they go to enough events and watch enough personal development videos, then eventually something will just click and their whole life will change, right? They think that if I know how to do it, then I'll do it. If I know how to work out, I'll work out. If I know how to build a successful business, I'll build a successful business. If I know how to find love, I'll find love. But if it was that easy, then everyone would just read a book and miraculously their entire life would be different, right? So here's the thing, a lot of people already know what to do. They know how to improve their health. They know how to stop procrastinating. They know how to start a business. They know that they should leave a situation or a relationship or a job that isn't serving them. They know that they should set boundaries. They know that they should maybe go after things that they really want. So if they know what to do and how to do it and what they should be doing and should not be doing, then wouldn't you think that that would be enough to just create change? If it was, then more people would be living their dream life. But it's more deep than that. So many people feel stuck. They hesitate, they procrastinate, they sabotage themselves. And they wonder, why do I keep doing this? I don't want to keep doing this. Why do I keep doing it? First of all, when you ask certain questions, you'll always receive an answer. So asking, why do you do it? Your brain will come up with all of the reasons why you're doing it. So instead, try asking better questions. And then when you know what to do, but you're not doing it, you might say, well, maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I'm not cut out for it. Maybe I don't know how. Maybe I'm not capable. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe it's for other people, but not for me. And then they start spiraling and going to all these stories. They think maybe they lack discipline. Maybe they don't have enough certifications or knowledge. Maybe they think something is wrong with them. It's not, and there's nothing wrong with you if that's you. What if the real reason you're stuck had nothing to do with self-discipline? Wouldn't it feel so much better? Now listen, we can be honest in that you either know you're disciplined or you're not. And if you feel like you are disciplined and you're still not getting results, that's another conversation. If you feel like you can't be disciplined or there's something stopping you, well, that's also another conversation to have. Because if you want to go after the thing, if you say that I want to start the business or I want to have more financial success or I want to have a different business, a different job or relationship, and you know what to do, there's reasons why you're not doing it. And you may consciously want something like more freedom, more success, better health and a better body, strong relationships, a bigger, happier, more fulfilled life. But deep down, somewhere in your subconscious mind, there may be a belief that says, if I go after this, it will cost me. Most people don't realize that a lot of the time there's a fear deep inside your subconscious mind that says, if you get this, it will cost you this. There's all of these fears that they have underneath the surface that they have no idea are even there. I didn't know that I had a fear of success. What if I can't handle it? What if I get it and lose it all? What if I fail? What if I'm judged? What if I'm lonely? You know, like the programming in the air is like, oh, it's lonely at the top, or rich people are greedy, or all these negative associations to having money and success. And if you grew up in a certain environment that they talked about those things in a negative view, or you weren't shown what success in the areas that you want look like, maybe you grew up in a household that ate unhealthy food and the majority of the people in your house are unhealthy and overweight. Maybe you grew up in a household that they filed for bankruptcy and failed and went and saved jobs that didn't actually pursue their dreams. Maybe you grew up in a household that was chaotic and abusive and had so much turbulence and that people didn't love each other unconditionally and support one another in their dreams and in their paths and in their goals. Maybe you weren't shown and modeled the best example of what all of these things could look like for yourself. But now that you're older, You can find people on the internet or even in your life that you know who have the thing that you want and ask them, what do you believe about these things? What do you say to yourself? What are your thought patterns? And a lot of them might look at you sideways and be like, what do you mean? What are my thought patterns? The people who have what you want think very differently than the way that you think if you don't have those things yet. They believe very different things. They have very different values, beliefs, values, internal dialogue, because your beliefs and internal dialogue is what causes you to feel a certain way, and your emotions drive your behavior. And your behavior is what gets you your results. Now, the problem is most people try and work backwards and they just try and change their behavior and then try and manage and control their emotions. Or worst of all, they try and numb out their emotions by scrolling, by drinking, by binge eating, by distracting on their phone, by being in relationships that don't serve them, by staying in dead end jobs, whatever numbing out and distracting, anything that you do to numb out on your emotions, you're numbing out on the information that is telling you that you're not happy where you are or you are satisfied with what you have. And until you stop running away, stuffing it down, and numbing out the emotions that is literally the information to tell you where you want to go in your life, until you do that, you can't create change. You're going to burn yourself out. So many people struggle with depression, anxiety, burnout. They're directionless, mindless. They're mindlessly just roaming the earth, wondering, why do I feel dissatisfied? It's because you haven't nailed your purpose yet. You cannot find your purpose if you're constantly numbing out, checking out, and always reacting to the world around you. That's why this kind of work that I do is so powerful. I became a master NLP practitioner and a hypnotist so that I can help people rewire their subconscious mind, their identity, their beliefs and thoughts and their emotions so that they can have the life that they want on the outside. So many people try and focus on the outside, but forgetting that the actual work is done on the inside. So your brain, your beliefs run everything. They run everything. What shows up in your environment is a reflection of what you believe. It's as simple as that. And if you're like, well, Cass, you can agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter. In my model of the world, that's what I choose to believe. And there are some things in my life, in my own life, that I'm like, oh boy, I got to change those things. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Have I felt embarrassed in the past because I don't have it all figured out? Sure, absolutely. But then at the same time, why would I feel the need to be embarrassed? Because I'm not perfect and I don't strive to be and I don't pretend to be and I don't want to be. Because if you're perfect, then you have nothing to work on and work towards and to become. I don't think anyone ever becomes perfect. We can strive for better. We can strive for mastery of the self and the craft and our purpose and our presence here on earth and put forth the effort that we want to see and do and become. You get out what you put in, and I'm not saying it in the form of effort as you always have to go so hard. Actually, so many things can come with ease. They say you gotta work hard and work hard for your money, and why? You don't have to work hard for your money. Work smart, get resourceful, become a master of yourself and master a craft and become more valuable in the marketplace. And then you can get paid a lot. Help others, be of service, be of value. You are innately valuable as a human because you were born. But develop the skills to be of service to others, to create an impact in other ways if you want to receive more. And now you might have already done that, and still you might not feel like you have enough to give, or enough to help, or enough to change. Many people are afraid of failing. That what if someone signs up for my program and I don't get them the results that they came for and then they judge me? When you go down the ladder of your thought processing, it's like, okay, I have a program, but I haven't launched it yet. Why? Well, because I'm afraid if someone signs up for it, then what if they don't get the results? Okay, what happens if they don't get the results? Well, if they don't get the results, then they'll judge me. Okay, what happens if they judge me? Well, if they judge me, then it will confirm that I'm not good enough. There it is. You think that it's so surface level. So many people are walking around thinking that their problem is just what it is, what they think it is, what they say it is. It's not. If you follow the thoughts all the way down to the core of it, that is where you find your real fear. That's what I help people do all the time. Uncover their limiting beliefs and limiting emotions that is holding them back from getting the life that they want. And then after that, sky's the limit. You can claim whatever it is that you want. That's why it's been difficult to tell people exactly what I do and how I help, because the results that people get is incredible. I had a woman, a client of mine, she is completely blown away. She manifested a fully paid trip, flight, hotel accommodations, food, transportation, everything, to go to Texas. That's incredible. She said that the work with me has been better than therapy, and the work has been even faster, and the tools that she's gotten has completely changed her life. And the hypnosis blew her mind. And I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to say become valuable so that you can help others transform their lives in whatever area that you want. Food, nutrition, skin, their health, in so many different ways. Our health, we're so multifaceted, there's so many different ways to help people. Help people in art or in dance or creativity or food. It doesn't really matter how you help. Every single thing in the planet is for helping something or someone. How is it that you want to help? So, if your unconscious mind believes that what it currently believes is keeping you safe, you'll hold on to that belief. Everything has a positive intention. So that's why this is so important, to uncover what it is that you believe so that you can go in and tell your unconscious mind that, hey, that's outdated. We don't need that anymore. In fact, that's not keeping us safe. That's hindering our results. Beliefs run everything. So if your unconscious mind believes that if success leads to rejection, or speaking up might lead to conflict, or pursuing your dreams might lead to failure or embarrassment, then your brain will do something really fascinating. It'll slow you down. It will create resistance. It will help you procrastinate. It will distract you and say, oh, we'll just start Monday. Oh, just one more scroll, one more reel. Oh, just one more episode of TV. It'll convince you to stay where you are in your little comfort zone. Not because you're weak or unable to create the change that you're seeking, but because a part of your mind believes it's protecting you. And it is. It is protecting you, because guess what? People will judge you. You will lose relationships and friendships that you thought were in your life forever. You will fall on hardship, because all of those things are preparing you for the next level. Anytime there is any sort of turbulence in my life, I know that the next level is on its way. But the thing is, I've programmed my mind and my nervous system to know that is true. Most people, when something crappy happens in their life, they think, why did this happen to me? This is so bad. I'm like, bring it on. And yeah, sometimes it's really shitty. I had the CRA freeze. I had the CRA, which is the government of Canada, freeze my bank account and empty my accounts twice. You'd think that the first time around I would have learned my lesson. But no, Cass has her priorities backwards. I was going to these events and paying for these programs and wanting to up-level in my success so that I could have more abundance to give, to pay off my bills and to pay off my debt, to travel, to be better for my clients and my community and show up better as a mom and as a human being. Meanwhile, I didn't pay attention and I didn't take care of my responsibilities, and bam, twice. They locked me out of my accounts, froze my accounts, and said, you got to come up with the money to unfreeze the account and pay in full. I'm like, what? And at first I was like, the government is crappy and they did that to me. And then I realized, you know what? This is a lesson. First of all, be at cause. I caused this to happen because I didn't pay on time. Does this happen to everybody? No, I just was lucky enough for it to happen to me twice. Happen for me, rather, because there's always a positive lesson to learn. And again, you might argue with me on that, but this is my model of the world. You can choose to adopt it or not. All of these things show up because when you're asking for more, you have to become more. And in order to become more, you must face challenges to overcome so you can build the skills and skill sets to become that version of you that you need to be in order to up level. But most people are afraid of the turbulence. You know, when you're in an airplane and you're going through the turbulent rough spot, you wouldn't feel that turbulence if you never went on the airplane in the first place. It doesn't always feel comfortable, and it's very uncertain and can feel very scary in the moment. And then afterwards, you're like, that really wasn't anything. That's right. Life just continues on. So if any time you reach a patch of turbulence in your life, just know that it's preparation and information. We don't need to struggle and suffer with anxiety and depression. I did that for a long, long time. And then I realized it was trying to tell me something. It was trying to tell me something about my beliefs. It was trying to tell me something about my personality. I didn't know I had ADHD when I was younger. Rejection sensitivity is for real. But also the beliefs that I held about myself. And those beliefs, I went and collected evidence to make them real, even more real. So if I didn't feel worthy of love and attention and connection, I assumed that my friends were rejecting me and being mean to me. Were they? Who knows now? Reality is skewed because I had this belief in my mind, and I made sure to make my reality match my limiting beliefs, and that's exactly what you are doing as well. But here's the great news, we can change it. Sometimes these things show up so small and they feel small and we don't even realize them. You know, the scrolling instead of starting, snacking instead of focusing on what you said you're going to focus on, cleaning the house instead of working on things that matter. I know there are people out there that clean instead of do the work, myself included sometimes. Maybe watching another video or researching for another hour or getting another certification, waiting until tomorrow or Monday. But tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, years go by, even decades or even your lifetime. How long are you willing to wait and put off your dreams and your goals and desires? If that is you currently, you're letting fear take the driver's seat of your life. Comfort zone and fear, old beliefs, old habits that aren't serving you anymore have compiled into this one identity or entity and is being the driver of your life. How long are you going to let that happen? Change is not comfortable. It is not comfortable at all. If it was, everyone would do it. And like I said, that's why so many people numb out and check out and react. You don't have to live like that way. If you know deep down that there's a different life possible for you, then follow that nudge. You don't not get what you want because you don't want it. You just have beliefs that aren't supporting you yet. It's like an old, outdated computer software. See, there's a moment where awareness becomes so powerful when you catch yourself thinking, I know what to do, so why am I not doing it? That question alone tells you something important. Your conscious mind knows that there's another path, but another part of your mind is running a different program. So it's like you're playing tug of war with yourself constantly. There's a really cool technique we use in NLP called integrated parts, where we uncover what the positive intention of both those parts are. One part of me wants to work out, another part of me wants to binge eat junk food. One part of me wants to start a business, but one part of me wants to stay in this comfy job. That internal tug of war is exhausting, and we can bring resolution to it very, very quickly. I do that with my clients all the time. And once we change the subconscious patterns, everything changes. We're just patterned. That's it. And patterns can be changed. The resistance will disappear, the procrastination will fade, and suddenly the actions that felt really hard start to feel natural and easy. How would that be in your life if what once felt so difficult was a breeze? So, this pattern is so common in most people. So, I actually created a simple tool that can help you interrupt this pattern in real time. It's called the 21-second pattern interrupt or reset. And the reason it works so well for habits and behaviors because those things happen in your subconscious mind. In this pattern that I'm going to teach you runs on neurological loops and it will interrupt it instantly. Your thought, your emotion, your action, it will interrupt that loop so that you don't have to carry out the behavior. When you interrupt the loop early on, you can actually stop the pattern before it takes over, before you actually do the behavior. And that's what this tool teaches you to do. It takes about 21 seconds to deploy. 21 seconds. Now, we teach it in about a 20-minute video so that you know how to do it, or rather audio. And once you learn it, you can use it for procrastinating, scrolling, emotionally, eating, for anxiety. Anything that you catch yourself doing or avoiding that you no longer want to do is when you can use this technique. It's essentially taking back control of your life. And it gives you that control back in an instant. You don't have to go to an hour of therapy. You just do this technique and it's extremely powerful. So that free tool is in the show notes, or at www.casshenry.com/21 seconds. And now here's the truth though, because that interrupting pattern tool is extremely powerful. So make sure you go and download it. But it's only a tool. It's only the beginning. It's only a sort of band-aid. Because if the deeper beliefs running underneath the pattern stay the same, eventually the behavior tries to come back. And then you end up finding yourself relying on willpower and self-discipline and fighting yourself. So that's why doing the deeper work matters so much. Clearing out the limiting beliefs, rewiring your subconscious mind and your identity, updating the identity that you carry about yourself and the world around you. Clearing out old, past negative emotions, because guess what? You're creating now and the future from the past. And if you don't clear up the past, you're creating more of the past. Not everyone wants to do that. And if you find yourself living on repeat, if you feel like each day is like Groundhog's Day, you think the same, you behave the same, you have the same excuses and reasons for not taking action, or the same reasons for reacting or numbing out or doing the behaviors that you said you would stop doing, but for some reason you haven't yet. Well, first of all, you're human. Second of all, most people do that. And third of all, you don't have to continue to have the same narrative. And that's exactly why I created my program called Worthy and Free. Inside the program, we work directly with the subconscious mind to release old emotional baggage. We dissolve old limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and we help you step into the version of yourself that actually can follow through on the life that you want with ease and excitement. And we do it in a group because being in a group is powerful. When you talk to other people, you uncover stuff about yourself that you didn't even know was there. So we start April 7th. This round, because it's the founding members round as of March 2026, it's we have limited spots, and it's at a price that it will never be at again. Because usually I do this in a one-to-one setting, and I know, because Tony Robbins has done it, that this work can be done in a group, and in fact can be even more powerful done in a group. So this round, if you choose to join, you get to be part of the founding members. There's already 5 women who have said yes, which means there's 10 spots left. We start April 7th. This is your chance. This is where the work is done. It's so powerful. This work absolutely changed and saved my life and has for so many of my clients. So if you want the 21-second pattern tool that I mentioned, it's completely free. You can download it now and use the audio immediately or listen to it right away. The link is in the show notes, or like I said, www.casshenry.com/21 seconds. And it will walk you through exactly how to interrupt those automatic behaviors when they show up for you in your life, because they will. And if you're someone who knows that you're ready for deeper transformation, maybe you've been looking for someone to help you with this. Maybe you've been praying. Maybe you've been researching. So many of my clients said that they had been praying or looking for someone to help be their guide or their mentor or their coach or their therapist. I'm not a therapist. Many of my clients have mistaken me for being one. I'm an extremely powerful guide to get you to where you want to go to take action so you can have the life that you want, and it starts from the inside. So if that is you and you know you're ready for more, then you can learn more about Worthy and Free in the link below. Like I said, we start April 7th. Enrollment is officially open. We have 10 spots left, and it will never be at this price again because this is for the founding members. So casshenry.com/worthy. Listen, you're not stuck because you're lazy or incapable. You have deeper subconscious patterns that are holding you back for a reason, and we can clear them out so you can finally get the life that you want and that you know is possible for you. The moment those patterns change, everything in your life will change with them.